Hi, my name is Kaeleb Greeley, and this is the scientific method video that I will be posting. And there are 5 questions. First question being the steps of the scientific method. Well, there are actually 5 different steps. 6 if you include the feedback step, which is the last one. But there are 5 really standard question or steps in the scientific method. The first one is ask a question. So, as an example of that I can give is just ask a certain question that needs to be solved or that you feel is important enough to dedicate time to understanding that problem. The second is do background research. Rather than just starting from absolute scratch, you need to put together a plan to execute certain steps to accomplishing your goal, which was the question that you initially had. Number 3 is construct a hypothesis, which is mentioned a few times in this video that I'll have to mention, but basically what a hypothesis is just an educated guess. You just want to, what you believe, you ask yourself the question, you do the background research, and based on your research and the question, you make an assumption, an educated guess on what you feel will be the outcome of whatever you are testing. Number 4 is test your hypothesis by doing an experiment, whether that's an actual physical experiment with chemistry or such science, or whether that's anything as of like a survey. It can definitely be a hypothesis or doing a general census, but you have to perform an experiment to get real hard data that can either prove your hypothesis correct or wrong. And 5 is analyze that data, draw a conclusion up, and see what you actually happened. Going through the stages, you ask yourself the question, how, what, when, who, which, why, or where, and you do the background research on that, put together a plan, execute that plan, construct a hypothesis, test your hypothesis, analyze that data, and draw a conclusion, and then compare between your actual results and your hypothesis and see whether you were correct or wrong. And the 6th, which is optional, would be the communication or the sharing step, which is giving that information out to the general public or whoever, so they can understand your position and your experiment, so they know that the answers to your question. The difference between deductive and inductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is a basic form or validation reasoning. Deductive reasoning starts out with a general statement or hypothesis and examines the possibilities to reach a specific logical conclusion. And that is given to us direct quote by the California State University. And inductive reasoning is actually the complete opposite. Inductive reasoning is it makes broad generalizations of a specific observation. It makes an observation on data that is already out there, something that you do not have to go out and collect yourself. It's already on the internet. You take it and you do more extensive research on that data or whatever you need to do. And that is direct quote by the Utah State University. Difference between hypothesis, theory, and law. Hypothesis is a reasonable guess that you make in the world based on whatever you are experimenting. All 3 of these, hypothesis, theory, and law, all pretty much tie together in the same sort of subject, but they're all very different in each of their ways. Hypothesis, just like what I said earlier and now, is of making an educated guess on something that you are going to experiment or that you believe to be correct, but you don't have the data. Theory. For a real life hypothesis, what I'm doing right now is I wake up every morning and I feel kind of crappy because I wake up early for class. And what I'm doing is I'm testing a hypothesis by saying if I stop drinking sugary drinks such as soda and any juice, whatever, will I wake up more refreshed? And my hypothesis was obviously, I think so. If I'm drinking water and being more healthy, I'm going to be more energetic in the morning. And so far, it's working pretty well. Theory. Scientific theory consists of a number of not true factual evidence, but theories of to how things form together. The greatest theory, obviously, that I can think of would be the Big Bang Theory, which is a huge debate between Christianity and non-Christians on how the world was formed. And that is a theory, even though as Christians we believe the earth to be created, which what we believe in, it's pretty much a theory. So is the Big Bang. And a law is what it may sound like under a scientific law is that is a set factual evidence. I'm not really sure how to put it, but it's something that's set in stone, something that cannot be wrong. Most of them, like a mathematical equation. That's a great example of what I could give as like a scientific law, or Newton's laws, something that cannot be proven wrong. They are set in stone. I am so sorry this video went longer than I planned. I tried to go in very deep detail, so I hope that was okay. I'm sorry for it being longer than 5 minutes, but I wanted to make sure to get a good grade on this. Thank you.